Royal shocker. Inside Princess Leonor and Prince Christian's billion-dollar wedding plans. Dash dash dash. It was supposed to be just another royal fairy tale, a quiet preparation behind palace walls, a union between two young royals stepping into their destiny. But what if I told you that what the world thought it knew about royal weddings, about tradition, grandeur, and family unity, has been turned upside down? What if this wedding, between Princess Leonor of Spain and Prince Christian of Denmark, isn't just a celebration of love, but the single most expensive, most secretive, and most emotionally charged royal event in modern history? And here is the twist: beneath the gold, beneath the billion-dollar sparkle, lies a story of family rivalries, hidden negotiations, and a young couple fighting to carve out their own destiny in a world that sees them as symbols, not people. This is not the royal story you thought you knew. From the moment Princess Leonor of Spain turned 18, speculation began. She is not just any royal. She is the heir to the Spanish throne, the future queen who will one day shape the destiny of an entire nation. Her every move is studied, her gestures dissected, her words weighed against centuries of royal history. And then, there's Prince Christian, the heir to the Danish throne, himself burdened by the heavy crown of expectation. Put them together, and suddenly Europe's two ancient monarchies find themselves intertwined in a way that feels more like a dynasty-defining chess game than a love story. But is it love, or is it politics? Let's begin with the most explosive truth. This wedding is projected to cost over $1 billion. Yes, 1 billion. Not thousands, not millions, a staggering figure that eclipses every royal wedding before it. And here's the question: why? At first glance, it's easy to assume extravagance: the diamond tiaras, the hand-woven gowns, the towering cathedrals, the military processions. But insiders whisper that the money isn't just for the spectacle. It's for security, for diplomacy, for the silent yet undeniable pressure to use this union as a symbol of European stability at a time when monarchies are being questioned like never before. But behind the scenes, the story takes an even deeper turn. Because Leonor is not marrying just for herself. Her parents, King Felipe VI and Queen Letizia, have been careful, cautious, and at times fiercely protective of her. They know the scrutiny she faces, especially from critics who doubt the future of the Spanish monarchy. For them, this wedding is about more than their daughter's happiness, it's about the survival of the crown itself. Now imagine the tension. A young princess who dreams of a love story, of walking down the aisle with a man she truly adores. A future king who must balance affection with duty, whose every move is judged by a mother, Crown Princess Mary, and a grandmother, Queen Margrethe, whose expectations weigh heavily on his shoulders. This is not just a wedding. It's a clash of dynasties, of two powerful families trying to merge centuries of history into one ceremony. And here's where the story sharpens. Insiders claim there have been disagreements over almost every detail. The location. Spain wanted Madrid, the beating heart of its monarchy, a wedding inside the Almudena Cathedral, surrounded by the weight of Spanish tradition. Denmark pushed for Copenhagen, arguing that Christian, too, is an heir, and their nation deserves the spotlight. After weeks of negotiations, whispers say the solution might be both: two ceremonies, two nations, one couple. But at what cost? The billion-dollar figure begins to make sense. The guest list. A battlefield of diplomacy. Do they invite Prince Harry and Meghan, whose presence always risks overshadowing? Do they risk excluding them and causing international uproar? Do they welcome leaders whose politics divide nations? Each decision carries consequences that ripple far beyond the couple's personal wishes. And then, there's the dress. You may think it's trivial, but Leonor's gown is already being described as a national statement. Spanish designers fight for the honor, knowing that whoever wins will define fashion history. But rumors swirl that Leonor herself leans towards something simpler, something less weighed down by tradition. Will she be allowed that choice, or will the crown decide for her? Even more shocking, some insiders whisper that Leonor, despite her image of composure, has confided in close friends about the weight of it all. About how she longs for a normal moment, for a wedding that feels hers, not Spain's, not Europe's, not history's. And Christian. He, too, has reportedly clashed with advisors, insisting that love, not politics, must come first. But can love truly stand above dynasty? Here is where the story deepens. Because this isn't just a spectacle for the cameras. It's an emotional battle for identity, for autonomy, for love inside the gilded cage of royalty. Every royal wedding before has taught us one thing: the world remembers the sparkle but forgets the shadows. Think of Charles and Diana, the fairy tale that cracked behind closed doors. Think of William and Kate, a union that balanced tradition with modern love, but only after years of tension with the press. Think of Meghan and Harry, a wedding that was supposed to heal divides but instead created even greater ones. So what makes Leonor and Christian different? What makes this billion-dollar event more shocking than all the rest? It's the scale. It's the timing. It's the fact that, for the first time in centuries, two heirs, two future monarchs, are marrying each other. This is not just a royal wedding. It's the forging of a future empire of influence. Spain and Denmark may remain separate nations, but their futures are now tied by blood, by dynasty, by a couple who did not ask for this weight yet cannot escape it. And here's the emotional heart. Amidst the billion-dollar figures, the cameras, the politics, there are still two young people in love. Insiders describe tender moments when Leonor and Christian are alone, walking the palace gardens, laughing quietly, speaking of futures beyond duty. For a brief moment, they are not heirs. They are just two souls who found each other in a world that rarely allows freedom of choice. And yet, even that love must survive under the crushing gaze of history. Now think of the families. Queen Letizia, known for her modern instincts, reportedly pushing for Leonor's happiness above protocol. King Felipe, dignified and cautious, caught between protecting his daughter and protecting his throne. Crown Princess Mary, strong, elegant, but determined that Christian fulfills his destiny. And Queen Margrethe, the matriarch, whose vision of monarchy is firm, traditional, immovable. Imagine the conversations, the disagreements, the whispered negotiations at family dinners. It is not the fairy tale harmony that the world will see on television. It is politics dressed in silks and diamonds. As the date approaches, the question grows sharper: will this wedding be remembered as the greatest royal spectacle of our age, or as the moment when the pressure of history cracked even the strongest of unions? For now, the plans continue. Billions of dollars poured into preparations, cathedrals polished, carriages restored, armies rehearsing parades, jewels prepared for their once-in-a-lifetime glitter. The world will watch. The cameras will flash. Children will dream of fairy tales. But behind every smile, every wave, every bow, lies the truth that royalty is not freedom. It is duty, sacrifice, and the constant struggle to keep love alive inside a world built on expectation. And that is the true shocker. Not the diamonds. Not the billion-dollar price tag. Not even the merging of dynasties. The real shock is that at the center of it all, two young hearts are simply trying to be heard above the noise of history. Princess Leonor and Prince Christian's wedding will not just change their lives. It will change the course of European monarchy. And whether it becomes a lasting symbol of love, or a gilded cage remembered for its weight, only time will tell.